Welcome to the Bearded Banter podcast, where we'll discuss everything gaming. So sit on back and listen up. Get your headphones ready, we're gonna discuss video games, it's gonna be fun. A final time for everyone. Wow! Hey guys, and welcome back to the Bearded Gaming Network. I am Shane, aka the Bearded One, and that is my co-host, Random Richard, Riley's Random Reviews.
How's it going, everybody?
And welcome to episode 5, I believe, of the Bearded Banter Gaming Podcast. Today, we're going to talk about Yoshi's Island, legendary platformer on the Super Nintendo, one of the greatest games ever created. Basically, what we're going to talk about today is the game, what we think about it, our opinion, and maybe we'll get to a memorable moment if we have any. You know?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so Yoshi's Island was released for the Super Nintendo back in the mid-90s.
1995. October 14th, I think.
See, this is why I have him here, because he's chock full of random fun facts. But, okay, so it was released in 1995 for the Super Nintendo. It was a first-party Nintendo title, obviously.
It's actually a sequel to Super Mario World.
Yeah, it's technically the second Mario World, which is interesting.
Yeah, obviously it's in the title, but most people don't actually realize that it's the sequel to Mario World.
Yeah, it's a completely different game.
Yeah. But, oh well, let's move on.
Anyway, so Yoshi's Island follows the story of all the Yoshis on Yoshi's Island as Kamek the Koopa tries to kidnap baby Mario and Luigi as they're being delivered to their parents. Baby Luigi is left unharmed and he is delivered without a hitch. Unfortunately, baby Mario is stranded on Yoshi's Island, and the Yoshis feel it. I don't know what, they feel, the motivation to, return him.
Well, Yoshis are naturally very good-spirited. As they've shown in other Nintendo games, they're always willing to help. Mm-hmm. So, I guess Yoshi's natural instinct to, yeah, let's help. Come on.
Yeah.
Just came in.
So they just find it in their hearts to help this baby return home, and that's basically the whole story. It's basically all the Yoshis are working together to bring baby Mario back to his respective parents. It's a very simple plot.
That's what I like when games like this, they have very simple plots, and they just let the gameplay take up 95% of it.
Which, let's move on to the gameplay. What do you think about this game?
Well, the gameplay is definitely a huge difference from Mario World.
Huge difference. Because the main factor is you aren't controlling Mario himself, you're actually controlling Yoshi.
Mario is riding on his back, obviously, but...
which is the exact reverse of...
Yeah, pretty much. But, really... What the hell did you do to your pop?
I cracked it open and it hissed at me.
It's like an angry kitty cat. Anyways, the gameplay is very, very, it's similar to Mario World, but it's different in its own way. It does its own unique twist.
Yeah.
Basically, you control Yoshi. Same thing. You can jump on platforms.
You can flutter jump by holding the button. You
can flutter jump, which sends you a little bit further. Actually, the new Super Mario Brothers Wii and Mario Galaxy 2, Yoshi's use that feature.
Yes, he also has the flutter jump.
And he's pretty much always had that.
Yeah.
And, well, pretty much...
Except in Yoshi's Cookie.
Unfortunately.
Which is like a weird Tetris ripoff. I don't know.
That came out before, I think. Like 1991.
Yeah. I think that was like the last NES game.
Yeah, pretty much.
One of the last NES games.
Pretty much. Basically, same thing. One thing you can do that was introduced in Super Mario World was that Yoshi can stick out his tongue and eat enemies. And
I like the sound effect you made for that.
Thank you. Basically, you can stick out his tongue, eat enemies, and shit them out in the form of an egg.
Yeah, basically what you do is you use your tongue to grab enemies and objects, and then you can, through the wonders of nature, you can send them through Yoshi's digestive tract and poop them out as eggs, which you can then use as ammo to throw at enemies and other objects.
Yep, you can aim them in like a sort of like a rail shooter targeting reticule. The targeting system is a little difficult to get used to, but once you get to it, it's beyond possible to fail.
Yeah, it becomes very second nature.
Yeah, it's like,
once you get into the swing of things.
I know how to shoot this thing up here. There we go. Got it. First try.
Yeah, and the eggs revolve around a lot of the big game mechanics.
You can only hold about 7 eggs at a time.
6 or 7, yeah.
Yeah, 6. You can get them by hitting a block that gives you an egg, or by eating enemies.
Or by, eating people. Cannibalism.
Pretty much. So, Yeah, anything you want to elaborate on that?
Well, like Random Richard said, because I call him Random Richard on the show because, story purposes. Yeah, I know. But,
Sorry, it's late and we're tired.
yeah, and we just ate and I'm bloated and... Ugh. But, Yoshi's Island, it's a very unique game.
Definitely one of the better games for the Super
Yes.
Nintendo. And it was released pretty much right at the end of its life when the
Right before the N64.
like a few months before it even came out. So it's like, let's
So-
go out with a bang.
And they did, and it's amazing.
Oh,
But,
wonderful.
I like how the eggs are used in a lot of the game's mechanics.
Oh yeah, that's a huge part.
I like how it revolves around one main mechanic, but it introduces little things that correspond with it.
Yeah, like
The clouds.
oh yeah, the clouds,
Where it's like if you shoot clouds with eggs, you can either get
coins.
You can either get coins, you can get stars, which increase your timer. Which the timer,
We should talk about that.
yeah, the health system in this game. Basically, there is no health.
Really, I'll explain it.
Okay.
Basically, when you get hit by an enemy, or you hit something that you're not supposed to touch, the baby flies off. Baby Mario flies off you, and he's in a little bubble, and he cries very, very annoyingly. And you have about 10 seconds normally. It depends on how many stars you have collected. And you have about 10 seconds to get him before a couple of Magic Koopas come and take him away.
Yes.
And that causes you to lose a life.
And also, if you get hit again when Baby Mario is absent, you will also lose a life.
No,
So it's a very unique system.
Yeah.
Well, if you get hit a certain amount of times.
Yeah, I've always gotten hit just once, and I'm just down for like a second, then I'm back up and get the baby again quickly.
So the game mechanics are very unique.
Yeah, for a Mario game. Now,
For a Mario game not starring Mario.
pretty much. This is like the first big Mario game without Mario.
Until Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah.
But, anyway. So, the levels are also very,
One thing
I just want to mention, every level you alternate between a different Yoshi. So it's never the same Yoshi that you're playing as. Even though they're all the same, it's just basically cosmetic, but still, it's something to point out.
Yeah, you're technically playing as a different Yoshi. They're just all different colors.
Mhm.
You play as the green Yoshi as the when you play the final castle of each world.
Mhm.
There are 6 worlds in the game. There's about
8 levels.
8 levels. So
8 levels, a couple castles in between.
it's not necessarily a big game like compared to Mario World, but it's still a lot of fun.
You'll definitely be having a lot of fun while you're playing it. Which, let's go to our overall opinions. What do you think about Yoshi's Island as a whole?
Oh, fucking love that game.
Obviously.
I've played the shit out of that. Oh, I have so much fun playing it. The level design is amazing, and man, one thing I have to comment on the game is its artistic style.
Yes.
It's
The graphics are incredible.
Everything looks like it's been drawn by a crayon.
It's very stylized.
Yes, and it really stands out from any other Mario game out there. It does. It literally looks like a kid drew the backgrounds, and I guess that's what gives it its youthful charm, reflecting that you're playing as Baby Mario, and that
that artistic edge gives it a childlike magic to it.
Yeah, it like whenever I play it, I imagine myself as a kid, and like imagining myself in the game. As a kid, things are innocent, life is good, like that.
Yeah, it's also a very relaxing game.
Yeah, it is. Like there are not a lot of moments where you're gonna be really, really stressed.
No, unless Baby Mario's crying his fucking head off.
That's like a real. It's like when you're having a good dream and your mom wakes you up to go to school. It's like that.
Yeah. Or it's like when you wake up 10 minutes before you have to wake up.
And you're just like, fuck.
Or, on the contrary, where it's like, when you're not stressed in the game, it's like you wake up at 2 a.m. and you don't have to wake up for like 5 hours, and you're like, yes.
That's what the game is. The game's just one long... It's a very... Dream. That's it. The game's a dream, unlike Super Mario Brothers 2, the North American version, but we're not going to get into that.
Yeah, Doki Doki Mario.
Oh, God. Let's not...
I love how they make a Japanese game the North American release.
Because apparently...
Because that makes sense.
Because I heard a joke about this. We can't beat the game. Most Americans don't even know where Australia is. So there's no way we could beat the Japanese version's difficulty.
I guess.
And we still got Battletoads from the UK.
Yeah,
But the UK must like it better. Well, then again, America
But,
didn't drop two bombs on Japan, but
don't even start. But also, Rare is it's a UK developer.
Yep.
So
that's it. That's
yeah.
UK.
Anyway, Yoshi's Island. So overall opinion. Sum
Love
up real
it.
quick.
Love it, love it, love it. Graphics are amazing. Gameplay is fun, relaxing, very...
It's also very fluid. The controls are very fluid, smooth.
You're not going to have any troubles with the controls. And whenever you do screw up...
It's your own fault.
Yeah, that's a big thing about Nintendo. Whenever you screw up, it's usually your own fault.
Mm-hmm.
Not to sound too harsh, but it's usually your own fault, not the game designer's fault.
Mm-hmm. So, I personally grew up with this game. I remember having it as far back as I can remember. Excuse me. I probably had it since it came out, actually.
Pretty much.
And it is a masterpiece. It is basically... No game is perfect, but this game is as close to perfect as it possibly can be.
I strongly agree, and this is just our opinion. Obviously, there's going to be some people who think, I don't know, I like Mario World better. You know what, that's cool. Mario World's awesome.
Obviously, there's varying opinions. No one thinks the same thing about a certain subject, but, it's a very consensus agreement that this game is nearly flawless.
Oh, without a doubt. If there's anything I have to complain about is that sometimes when you lose Baby Mario, he goes into an area that you really can't get.
You can't reach.
But the good thing is you can shoot him with an egg and that brings him down, but not 99% of the time.
You're going to miss.
Yeah. And sometimes it's just an area where you can't get him. This is very, very rare. This has happened to me like once. And I ended up getting it taken away. I'm just like, God damn it. But whatever. Nothing's perfect.
Nothing is perfect, but this game is as close to perfect as it possibly can be. They really couldn't have done anything else to make it better than the version that we have
Exactly.
now.
This game is the perfect final bang for the Super Nintendo to go out on, because it came out October of 95, like a couple weeks before I was even born, I think. And N64 came out in June of 1996, I think. So
roughly a year before the N64, they brought Yoshi's Island out.
Exactly.
Where they could have
They could have
gone like some developers where they scrapped the whole thing and then moved it over to the new console and remade it from scratch, but they didn't.
They didn't. And I think, well, we kind of saw what it would have looked like on the N64 with Yoshi's Story.
With Yoshi's Story, yes.
But in Yoshi's Story, it was still a good game.
It was still a good game, but it didn't hold a candle to Yoshi's Island.
It was
basically a dumbed down version.
Yeah, still good though, still enjoyable.
It didn't have a. Sorry for interrupting. It didn't have a gimmick like eating a certain amount of fruit to finish a level.
Yeah.
No gimmicks. It was all original, creative mechanics.
Exactly, and that's what a game is. No gimmicks, just play the game.
That's what a game should be.
And have fun.
A game shouldn't be based around one thing and make it the ideal mechanic. It should be varied with...
Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts. Sorry.
A perfect game like Yoshi's Island should have varying original mechanics introduced in almost every level to keep things fresh. A learning curve. Which most games nowadays don't even have.
No.
It's just do one thing over and over again for 6 or 7 hours and then you're done.
Here's how games were back when we were kids. Level 1 to level 10 was like going up a hill and having different shit thrown at you. Like going from pebbles to full-blown spike bombs. I guess this is sort of that kind of analogy. Now, it's just like you're walking along a very even path and you're just having somewhat larger rocks thrown at you.
Slightly larger as it goes on.
But only by like a millimeter each time.
And they'll always miss you.
That's probably the most perfect analogy for any game I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. But, anyway, real quick, sum up my opinion. The game's amazing. It's as close to perfect as it possibly could be. The gameplay is very fluid. The controls are flawless. The graphics are very stylized. I love the style of this game.
Oh, man.
The mechanics are original, and they're frequently introduced to keep things fresh. It never gets stale or boring. You're going to be loving this game the entire time you're playing it, and that's a major positive, which most games nowadays don't have.
Yeah, because, like, let's play a game. Let's pick out a game like a recent one, Max Payne 3. You're probably not going to crack a smile that whole game. It's a good game, but just depressing as hell.
Yeah. Whereas this game is very, like, childlike. It's very, majestic. It's very, magical.
It's very upbeat.
It's very upbeat.
It makes you feel good.
It's like a feel-good game.
That That's exactly it's a feel good game. Like coming off of Mario World, you get this and you're just like, oh wow, Nintendo, you've really upped your ante.
So now you think now you know that we think the game is perfect, or as close as it can be. Do you have a memorable moment you want to share?
Definitely a memorable moment I had playing the game was the boss battle. Raphael the Raven is set on a planet that you can completely go around. And I was thinking, oh my god, this is an early Mario Galaxy. Obviously, I always thought
You just blew my goddamn mind.
Yeah.
Jesus. This game foreshadows Mario Galaxy
by 12 years. We've been playing Mario Galaxy for 12 years before it came out.
Jesus Christ. And that's also ironic, because they brought Yoshi back for Mario Galaxy 2.
I know. Wow. Nintendo, I see what you did there.
You just blew my goddamn mind. Oh, yeah.
I can't believe I didn't notice that.
Wow. I'm trying to think of a memorable moment I have from the game. Probably the first boss fight.
Oh, yeah, that's funny.
Full frontal nudity.
Probably the first time you ever actually see that in a Nintendo game. Well, at least until,
We have to talk about the final boss.
Oh,
God. Oh my god, the final boss is amazing.
It's a total contrast from the rest of the game, because the game's like really happy and upbeat, then you get to the battle and shit gets serious.
Holy crap, it's like...
And the music...
The music! Oh my god, I'm just looking this up too, that's funny. Final boss music.
Oh yeah.
You have to listen to this crap.
I've played it before.
You guys have to listen to this. If your ears did not just jizz, you are something wrong with you.
Clearly. Like, I go from having a huge smile on my face playing the game to just having like a, oh my god.
This just turned into a jam fest.
This shit got serious.
Like, I might even nominate that. I might even nominate that for greatest final boss theme in video game history.
Without a doubt
in
my mind.
That's definitely a contender.
Oh man, Nintendo. You never
Honestly,
cease to amaze me.
Actually, you know what this sounds like to me? Hold on, let me listen to it a little more. It sounds like they're kind of emulating like the old school 80s kind of rock
80s
music.
thrash.
Yes. Or it's like
this was released right
more
in the
like,
edge of the grunge era, so
yeah. Think back to like 1984, maybe Ride the Lightning, Metallica. Ooh. It kind of sounds a little like that. Maybe like an upbeat, an older upbeat like Metallica, or maybe Judas Priest, or Iron Maiden.
Oh god, this definitely reminded me of like an intro to some 80s metal.
Especially with that intro. Let's listen to it again. Wait for it. Like, holy crap! I would not be surprised if there were like several rock or metal versions of that remixes.
Oh my god! I'm surprised a metal band never actually remixed that when the game came out.
True.
Or covered it.
I mean, you listen to that intro, it's like, it's very in tune with like the 80s metal scene, where it's like they had very like sinister, evil sounding intros.
And that's perfect.
They had a very sinister sounding intro, like very tense, very suspenseful, and then went straight into an upbeat jam.
Straight just like, oh shit, to, oh god.
Things are getting serious. Okay, we're going on 20 minutes here. This is going to be a little bit shorter episode of Bearded Banter, so real quick before we wrap this up, restate your opinion on Yoshi's Island.
Fucking love it.
You want to talk about the DS version real quick?
Yes, I can talk about the DS version, having played and beat it several times. I enjoy the gameplay feature of having to use different babies to get through different areas.
And each baby has its own ability that
Yep.
in turn helps Yoshi.
Yep, I'm not going to explain them because I want to kind of keep this short, but
Yeah.
basically they do their own thing, and it works pretty well. One thing I had to complain about, and this is just more of like a technical issue, if you play the game takes up both screens, right?
Mhm.
And you know how sometimes at the top, on the DS, at the top of the screen, it should go right to the bottom of the other screen? Yeah, it doesn't do that. The hinge between the two screens blocks your view, so I cannot tell you how many times I've gotten hit by an enemy in that area I can't see, the blind spot.
Mhm.
So that's just like an issue, really. But
Yeah.
it definitely doesn't have the charm nor the awesome music that the original had.
Yeah.
In fact, the music in the DS version kind of sucks in comparison, but
Actually, keep talking about that. I'm going to look something up.
yep. Yeah, definitely the low point in the game for me was the music. The music is
It's a very unfaithful
yeah.
remix.
It
Right?
was definitely like having come off the Super Nintendo, I was expecting something good, but no. I mean, the music is like really, really kind of. Like,
Okay, here. Let's listen to the final boss music from the DS version. See how it differs. Okay, what the hell?
Yeah, that the
Seriously.
music disappointed me.
No. I'm sorry, that's...
As much as I don't want to quote him on this,
No.
it was George Lucas who said that music is the most important thing in a movie. 50% of the entertainment.
Mhm.
So
It sets the mood and the atmosphere.
yeah, if you ever watched a movie without music, it's boring.
It's boring. That's why silent films aren't completely silent. They always have soundtracks over them.
So you're not watching like some shitty PowerPoint video.
Like, let's say right now we have the TV on while we're recording this and it's muted. Just watching the blank visual without any sound to it,
It sucks.
it just feels weird.
So
So, final word on the DS version?
not as good as the original, but still fun if you're like really loving Yoshi's Island.
Yeah.
Music wise, stick with the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, definitely. After hearing that,
Honestly, just mute the game.
after hearing that DS version final boss, I just know that doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah. Oh well, can't complain.
Alrighty, so we're gonna wrap things up here real quick. Once again, state your final opinion.
Do I need to do? Fucking love the game.
Amazing. And amazing for me. Amazing, as close to perfect as it possibly can be. Everything is almost flawless. If not, it is flawless. And definitely the killer app for the Super Nintendo to end its era.
Oh, without a doubt.
This was the greatest parting present in video game history.
We'll miss you, Super Nintendo. Thank you for serving us well.
We salute you. So that wraps it up for this episode of Bearded Banter. Short and sweet and to the point. We're not rambling as much as we do in some of the longer episodes, because we're actually very focused today.
For once.
So that concludes episode 5 of the Bearded Banter Gaming Podcast. My name is the Bearded One. With me is Random Richard.
Goodbye, everybody.
Farewell and keep on gaming. We'll see you next time.